Hockey season is here and puck drops tomorrow. The ice is frozen. The rinks are frigid, but the hockey action will be heating up. The Dan K Show is here to tell you about it all. We've got a lot to get through today. Let's kick the season off, baby. Dan K Show Season 8 is underway. What's going on, hockey fans? Dan K here, the Dan K Show back underway, your most watched show in junior hockey. Season about to kick off here, puck about to drop. There's nobody else I'd rather be talking hockey with than this person, who I have tried to fire each and every offseason, but have figured out every time that he basically owns this thing and I don't, because I can't do anything if he's not here. This would just be me shouting into my computer, and it wouldn't be recorded, and I would just be doing this for my own benefit. Instead, it comes to you, and it's exciting, entertaining, and informative because of this man, my right-hand man, my consigliere, Mon Frere from another mare, the guy I cheated off of throughout 4 years of French in high school. Don't do that, kids. You make sure you get your book learning done. Lucas Jones.
Here's a little tip for all you folks at home who may be getting into applying for your first jobs, or you're looking to maybe change careers, or you're just starting to get into that college search. Make yourself completely unfireable and you will always have success. Is success measured in not being able to be gotten rid of? Sure, I would make that argument because I'm still here because I'm unfireable. Kind of like Aaron Boone, Dan. He's pretty much unfireable.
Let's stay away from baseball on this right now. You don't have to win games anymore in New York. But
he,
what we do have to do, we're not going to talk Aaron Boone, because then you're going to get me fired up. All right. My coffee's already at that awkward point in the cup where it's here. So it's like at this depth. So you can't drink like a normal person. Like if I do this,
no
like
coffee.
I just did that while you were talking, and it was a fake sip. But I couldn't look awkward because now I have to go like and do that. And then there was an extra hole right there. So I've got coffee in my eyeball. Bad choice, all right? Bad choice. It's preseason mode still.
Working on it.
Until puck drops, we're not fully in season mode. But what we are ready for, Lucas, is to talk way too early predictions. First show of the year, what do we always do? We come out with our way too early predictions. 2 years ago, some say throughout the realms of hockey, throughout some caverns, some hallways, foyers, mudrooms, all throughout the world of hockey, folks were saying that maybe the greatest moment in hockey history happened. USA, Herb Brooks gold medal. Mateau, Islanders dynasty, Dan K's way too early predictions 2 years back. I selected a double dip for the Charlotte Rush. I selected a NCDC championship in the Deneen Cup for the Jersey Hitmen. And I selected today that they were going to apparently be cutting down trees behind me while we tape this episode. So have fun with that, everybody watching at home. But we look at it here, Lucas, every year we do these way too early predictions. We don't know everything yet about these rosters. A lot of these coaches are close to the vest. They're not telling us what they've put together, what they've assembled. How do you come to your way too early predictions?
Well, you're right. It is tough, right? Because some coaches, they'll talk to us in vagaries, right? They'll say like, "Oh, we look good. We look, this team looks good." And for some coaches, they're big on when the guys show up. Some coaches they don't want to really tell you anything unless they have a good connection with the players, and a good connection is so important to get the start of the season off right with no issues. So we don't know a lot, yes, but we do know a little. And if there's one thing Dan and I are very good at, it's taking a little bit of knowledge and spinning it into a web of grandstanding and the 20-minute video episode that now you get to experience.
And speaking of a web of grandstanding, talk about the guys in my complex here who work on the landscaping. I don't know if this is a thing in Florida. Anybody watching at home who lives in Florida, is there a reason why there is leaf blowing every single day, every single week, twice a week in this complex? I don't understand it. What are they leaf blowing? Is it like an annoy the lizards clause here in Florida where they just have to kind of hit them all with some air? Or like, what are we doing, Lucas?
Are there even leaves?
There's like the cypress leaves, but then what happens is they just blow them all up on my porch and my balcony here. And next thing you know, I'm just sweeping them back down so they can blow them back up. It's like a game of gosh darn ping pong, but instead it's with cypress leaves. I don't understand it, Florida. Are we trying to keep the leaf blower guy employed? I trust that he's a great guy. Love the leaf blower guy. I see him around. He waves at me. I wave at him. But we shouldn't be on a first name basis, me and a leaf blower guy. I shouldn't see him that often. I shouldn't know him enough where we wave at each other where he goes, hey, I remember you because I just saw you yesterday. And I was blowing cypress leaves at you while you threw them back at me.
I think that's a self-sustaining economy. I think that's what that is.
So that's Dan K's meltdown of the day, brought to you by, I don't know, some ice cream shop. Reach out to us. But what we have for you are our way too early predictions. Let's start in the elite. We'll make two in the elite, two in the premier today. When we get closer to the NCDC season, we will launch off those NCDC way too early predictions. For now, with the Columbia Infantry Charlotte Rush game coming up Friday night, we've got to make some way too early predictions in the elite. Lucas, why don't you kick us off with yours?
Yeah, my elite predictions actually are kind of back to back here. The elite especially, you're kind of waiting until puck drop, and really you don't really get a good handle on these teams until the first few games for the season. But through some sleuthing, through some conversations with a few folks, I've come up with my back to back elite predictions. Number one, a team from the Southeast will be the champion this year. That division is tough every single year. We've seen that their hold on the USPHL has kind of lessened as the product has gotten better. They haven't gotten worse. Everyone's gotten better. And it's a lot harder to repeat, not just as a team, but even as a division back-to-back years. So I think the Southeast will repeat as the as the elite champion, but they will have to go through a team in the Mid-Atlantic to get there. So my elite final is the Southeast versus the Mid-Atlantic. With the Rockets Hockey Club win last year, all bets are off, and that Mid-Atlantic division, which has been pushing up against, I feel like, that glass ceiling. They have been so good for a number of years now, and they just quite haven't gotten there. I think the floodgates are open for this Mid-Atlantic division.
Don't forget, the Rockets won in the Premier, not in the Elite, right? So we sit here right now. I look at my prediction, and Lucas really going out on a limb there with his. I mean, really, really out on a limb. I mean, the sturdiest limb of a redwood tree.
I need a sturdy limb to support me, Dan. I am also a sturdy individual.
We all know that Dan K likes to make some grandeurs early in the season. And by the way, it's a great team name. How no one's ever called themselves the Grand Rapids Grandeur. That's a pretty cool name. It's a pretty cool name. But Dan K, a soft launch of a team next year, maybe. Maybe I'll launch the Grand Rapids.
Trademark.
Not talk to anybody. Yeah, trademark that. Trademark TM. But what I'm talking about in the elite right now, I'm going to word it this way first. Mine kind of go together as well. I'm going to word it this way. I'm predicting that there's not going to be a Southeast representative in the finals. That's first. And with that, what that means is I must have two other teams that are going to have some pretty good years. And in the Mid-Atlantic, I agree that the Rockets Hockey Club, one thing I've seen this summer is Wags has been on the links more than he's been on a jet ski with the Rockets Hockey Club. So that's first of all. So I think Wags in the Rockets Hockey Club, 30 to 35 wins this year, somewhere in that range. And I think they're in the title game. I think Wags last year, I liked the fight and the scrap and the claw his team had in a game that, honestly, when it comes to the final game of that Nationals, didn't mean anything to him, right? It was a consolation game. And the boys battled the whole way for him. And you can see when a team believes in a coach, right? You can see when they're there for him. And they certainly believe in Wags. And I think Wags has been keeping the competitive juices flowing. So I like the Rockets this year. And then I'm going to start off, I'm going to set the wide net and then try to get a little bit more in depth here. I think a Florida team's in the final this year, as the guy with the Dunedin Blue Jays hat on. I think a Florida team's in the final here. And I think that it might just be TBJ who wins it all. They have flirted with Titletown so many times at the elite level. You just feel like at some point they're going to break through the ice.
I like that. I like how, I come in, I record the show, I make sure the lighting's good, fix my hair, put on a nice shirt, and then you just fade me. You fade my first prediction, Go ahead. Lucas doesn't know what he's talking about. I will say this: as a man who's golfed with Wags this summer, short games on point, off the tee on point, mid irons on point. He's been deadly on the links all summer long. If that carries over into the Rockets Hockey Club Elite Squad, everybody else should watch out. I do like that Florida prediction though. I feel like one of the things I like about the Elite is that it's all about recruiting, right? It comes down to even more so I think than perhaps in the Premier and the NCDC, because you have to find the right balance of players. You have to find kind of your right skill set, and it's so normally so hyper focused. But damn, we were looking at the schedule, and a lot of these teams have a very diverse schedule in the Elite Division this year. There is not a lot of divisional favoritism. You are going to be playing teams from all over the country.
Yeah, 100%. And you look at the schedule of the Jersey Hitmen, they're playing the Nashville Spartans 6 times this year. Yep. They're doing a home and home with Nashville, which is awesome. You see the Rockets Hockey Club playing Richmond, and Hampton Roads is coming up to Jersey. I love to see that. I love to see the mix-ups at this elite level and really getting the ability to capitalize on such a large swath of teams, right? And such a large geographic footprint. I think it makes the game better. I think it makes the Elite an even better product than it already is. Everyone knows my feelings on the Elite and the USPHL. I absolutely adore it. I adore it, man. The guys on the ice just playing for the name on the front, not the name on the back, right? And that's what this is all about. It's what this elite level is. And watching the growth of the game, it's exciting. I'm going to be excited to see. If you weren't in our way too early predictions here on the Elite, it might have been because we wanted to give you some bulletin board material. I also didn't mean to zoom in on my mustache so heavily there. So my apologies to the folks at home for that one. Hopefully, Lucas, the way that this cuts out is that my mustache is a little bit further back from that.
No, it'll actually be closer.
On to the Premier. Here we go. Let's get our Premier way too early predictions here before we get the block of B or block 2 or block dos. I'm going to start here. I'm going to go with my first one. And this is one, a lot of phone calls in the offseason. I've talked to probably 80% of the Premier teams this offseason, getting prepped for the season, getting prepped for our first power rankings, which will come first week of October, first power rankings. And one thing I've heard a lot of is that Hudson and the Moose are looking good this year. Hudson, Havoc, Minnesota Moose looking good this year. Each team in the Midwest West plays 44 games. I am going to tell you out of those 88 games, quick math, Dan K for the win, shots scored, they will combine for 70 plus wins. Minnesota Moose, Hudson Havoc, 70 plus wins.
That is bold. That is an extremely, extremely bold prediction. I don't know about that. That is a lot of wins in a very, very competitive division every single year. You want to talk about the importance of recruitment. How about teams which are basically knocking on each other's doors, trying to recruit players away from each other each season? I can see it though. Hudson every year, especially last year, they found their way to nationals. They said it was a little bit of a different experience for them. I could see that. That'd be interesting. But you are leaving divisional powerhouses potentially like the Blue Ox and the River Kings in the lurch there, Dan.
Yeah, and it's not leaving them in a lurch. I think you look at how good the Blue Ox were the last 2 years. Jay Wood is so good. I mean, you've heard my thoughts on Jay Wood if you've watched Thin the Herd season 2. You've heard my thoughts on that organization, what they do. There just has to, just humanly thinking, you have to imagine there's not going to be a big drop off, but you got to imagine they've got to rebuild something there, right? There's got to be something you're filling in for. Maybe not. Maybe he proves me wrong yet again. Every year, I think the Blue Ox are going to take the step to, like, when I say step back for the Blue Ox, I'm thinking 3rd seed instead of 2 or 1, right? You look at the changes there. The Minnesota Squatch, it's their first year. Tough division to start off in first year. We'll see what they do. I love the ownership there. I love what Chick Pojar is doing. Woodsy moves over there from the Blue Ox. That'll be an exciting team to watch. The Steele County Blades, nobody ever wants to play the Blades. That is a team that is a rock'em sock'em robots of the Midwest West, man. I love watching Coach Adamek's team. You look at the Dells, man. The Dells went out there and they brought in Benke from IHC. They brought in some talent this year. They'll be better than they were last year. They got Falzone back in net. You look at this division out there. I think that there's a lot of talent to be had. But from what I'm hearing, I hear the Moose are bigger. I hear Coach Jonason went out and after having his hand held by a guy in a duck costume last year, aka Dan K, he decided he needed to have a bigger team around him to keep that duck guy away. He didn't want the duck into the bench anymore. So the Moose got bigger, and Hudson's returning a lot of their talent. They've got Harvey Dove, man, one of the best names in the game. Harvey Dove sounds like a villain in a Batman comic. I love the name. And like Dove's going to be flying all over the ice. You've got enough there. I think they're just going to be two top teams to deal with.
I like it. I think I agree. I think I think Coach might have wanted to surround himself with a little bit of a bigger team, not just in case he gets his hand held by a man in a duck costume, but also in case a PA announcer happens to accidentally on purpose mess up his name to try to throw him off his groove before a game time start.
What a
Uh,
day he had, huh?
yeah, what a day he had before even puck drop. Just a little old game, but the Dan K show was stuck in the rink with him. Always a great time and a terrible time. My first premier way too early prediction. I have been kind of all over the expansion teams this year as the hockey TV guy. I guess we'll call my title. I've been working with these expansion teams to try to get their internet connections up and running, their camera equipment, get people trained who need the training, but also as a result I've been talking to a lot of these folks and finding out about how strong their teams are. A lot of tea sessions with some of these coaches, a lot of time on the phone. I think two expansion teams are going to make it to nationals this year. I think
Wow. Okay.
I know that there's the debate about what expansion does. The market's already crowded. You talk about some other factors, but I think these expansion teams have done a really good job of putting together some fantastic teams, and I really think we're going to see two of them at nationals this season.
So two new teams. I like that idea. I like what the infantry are doing. I love what the Nashville Spartans are doing. Look at the Colonels. The Battle Creek Colonels right now. Coach Jensen's got a bit of a wagon brewing there in Battle Creek. You talk about all the squads in the Northwest. Talk about the Bakersfield Roughnecks. How fun was that conversation we had last week? You should go check that audio podcast out with that crew. There is just a multitude of talent brewing in this league right now in the Premier. I like the pick. Why don't you go to your next one? Because I'm holding on to mine for last because I think it's a little bit interesting. It might take everyone a second to understand it.
All right, so I'll go with my pick, which you have just called simple. I guess we'll call it very easy
Well, I'm
to
imagining it's
understand.
simple because it's you. I'm sure you're going to say my second prediction is that everyone will have a good time and hockey will be had by all.
Well, I think we've seen from our 8 years with in junior hockey that not everyone has a great time. So that prediction might be a little tough. Uh, I always like to. I used to say I don't like to do this, but I actually kind of do. I like to take a shot at the best teams from the previous year. Maybe it's bulletin board material, maybe it's not, but I'm a firm believer that it's a very tough thing to do in sports to stay at the top forever. Because once you've reached the top, there's only one place else to go. I think a team other than the Metro Jets this year will have the most wins. Now, the Metro Jets, the last 2 seasons, have had the most wins. Last season, they were tied with the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Knights for 39 wins on the season. I think some other team will replace them at the top of Mount Win this year. Nothing against the Metro Jets. But as I alluded to earlier when we were talking about the elite divisions in the Southeast, it's not that the best teams are getting worse. It's that the other teams are getting better. Everyone's getting better. The quality of the player is increasing. The quality of the team is increasing. The reach and the influence of the USPHL is growing year after year after year. And that opens up new markets of hockey player that you may not have seen before. So I love the Metro Jets, believe in what they're doing. They're one of, if not the premier organization on the planet with how they treat their players. But I think another team might eclipse them in wins this year.
Coach Q, I just want to let you know that I had no part in that prediction. I still power rank Coach Quenville as the most handsome coach in the USPHL. And in no way, shape, or form will I be traveling with Lucas Jones this season in reaction and retaliation for that pick. All right, next up, my final premier prediction. Is it that another double dip type prediction? No, I don't think it's happening. I don't see it. Don't foresee it this year. What I foresee, and I know that comment right there, Lucas, and the laissez-faire actions of myself in that comment I've already apologized to Coach Q, but I can guarantee that I will be getting an angry phone call about that from a little place called Raleigh, North Carolina. That's okay, though. That's okay. This is what this show is about. This is what this show is about. It's about firing up the boys and getting them ready with their bulletin board material so that they can, like the guys of the Florida Junior Blades were doing, dunk on Dan K. They put a Nerf hoop and they would dunk on Dan K.
Look, if we wanted to make friends, we would just golf all the time, right? But we don't golf all the time, so we're not here to make friends. I mean,
we golf all the time.
Wait, we can just golf all the time and be friends with everybody?
Down with that. Here's my pick. There are 10 divisions in the USPHL Premier. Half of those divisions will be won by a aviation-themed or air-related weather event named team. And when I say that, I'll even be more specific for you. The Metro Jets of the Great Lakes. Oh no, I've gone to the wrong page. I'm going to do it off the top of my head. The Aviators in the Mid-Atlantic. I think the New York Aviators and Mike Stanaway will win in the Mid-Atlantic. I've got the Cyclones in the New England. I've got the Thunderbirds, which are aviation themed. A Thunderbird, that's aviation, why not? And finally, if my brain does not deceive me, who was my last one, Lucas? Who was my last team?
You did not reveal your specific picks with me.
No. Hold on, guys. This is I know it's not live TV, but instead of Lucas editing this, I want you guys to see when I fail.
See the process.
I want you to see the process of failure in broadcasting, and I want you to really live it with me right now and understand just this is the one thing. Fort Wayne Spacemen. Spacemen.
That was real panic in your eyes.
There's nothing worse. There's nothing worse than being actually prepared for something and then immediately realizing you were not actually prepared for something. That's our way too early predictions. We've also been in the works with the league and helping out with the coaches committee on putting together nationals. We'll have some updates on that soon as we get closer to the season and let everyone know what it looks like on their road to a national championship in the Premier and Elite. Exciting things to come. Before we close out the show, we got to get to Block B. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back with the Dan K Show Cup Series coming to you in the 22-23 season.
You are watching the Dan K Show. Everything USPHL, from the NCDC to the Premier and Elite Leagues. The Dan K Show with Dan K and Lucas Jones.
Welcome back, hockey fans. We're in the B block now, which means we get to talk about something a little fun, a little exciting. It gets the boys going. You know what that is? Cup games. We had a couple cup games kind of scattered throughout the last couple of years, but this year, oh boy, we've got a whole bunch of them all season long. Dan K, what do we got?
Unveiling the Dan K Cup Series.
Wow, that was actually really good. I was not expecting that.
That is a chicken doing the announcement. 5 games confirmed right now, a 6th on the docket that we are working for, I would say, in the mountainous regions of Pennsylvania. And more to come if teams will reach out to us. We can do more. I still really think that the Rockets and the Jersey Hitmen should get together to play the Cup of Gold in honor of Tony Soprano. It's a cup game filled with gabagool, and that's what we play for. It's the Cup of Gold. But
don't hate it.
Not official right now. The 5 officially announced cup games. First, it is a cup tournament mid-season. Florida Cup. Coming to Florida, hometown of this guy here, October 22nd and 23rd. The 4 organizations from Florida will be battling it out for Floridian supremacy. Winner, unofficially getting a live gator. No live gators, just an actual cup. We're not, I was told, not allowed to get a live gator for the winner.
That's probably smart. I don't necessarily know how you would train a gator to be a trophy, but I feel like an ice rink is not a gator's natural habitat.
It is not. It is no longer. It is not no longer. It is also not mine. It is no longer mine. I finally stopped living with the Gators. Next up, our second cup game, not just a cup game, an outdoor game. Not just an outdoor game, an outdoor game in a pretty warm time of the year in North Carolina. North Carolina, come on and raise up for the Carolina Cup. Carolina Junior Canes, Charlotte Rush, third weekend in November. The boys are playing outside under the stars for the Carolina Cup.
Always love an outdoor game. Also, always love an outdoor game where it's not a negative temperature.
That is a win. Speaking of negative temperatures, next up on our Cup Series schedule, you think you survived the cold? Well, you haven't felt it until you've been to Coon Rapids, Minnesota. You betcha it's going to be frigid and chilly as they battle for the axe. The battle for the axe is back for year number 2 as the Moose, antlers up, get your antlers up. You want me to keep the show going until you get your antlers up. Antlers are up against the Minnesota Blue Ox. Horns up, they've got horns. Horns up, Minnesota Blue Ox. The horns be the antlers in the battle for the axe. The Ox took it last year. Will they retain the title or will those moose, those pesky little moose, come into town wearing the short denims again and take the axe home with them? The battle for the axe, January 27th, with an Dan K show on the call there as well. Next up, number 4. We've still not been approved to do this by Coach Kenny Miller of the Toledo Cherokee or Coach Justin Quenville, but we are forcing them to do it, whether they like it or not. The Coney Cup. We're going out to Toledo. We're going out to Metro. Home and home, February 3rd and 4th. I've decided the Coney Cup will be awarded to the team who wins the aggregate score between the two games.
That's an interesting way of doing it. I like it. Probably, I was going to say probably should have gotten approval, but you know what? No, it's too late. The announcement's been made. Nothing you can do about it.
The aggregate scoring thing might change, but I think that'd be pretty interesting if you did it that way.
Mm-hmm. That would be interesting. It would kind of reward teams for being good across both games, and a close game in game 1 would mean all bets are off in game 2.
I will tell you that trophy will be a giant hot dog. I am excited to unveil it. Next up, only show on the planet making giant hot dog trophies. I can promise you that. Nobody else is doing it. The last one officially confirmed right now. We're going to shred the gnar in California this year, baby. We're going cross country, bros, and we're heading out to the Cali Cup in San Diego, California. It's going to be the Long Beach Shredders taking on the San Diego Sabres, and it is going to be gnarly.
Grab your short shorts, grab your button-down Hawaiian shirts. We are headed to California. Was it our plan to book a California Cup in the coldest month of the year in New Jersey where I live? No. Is it a great and incredible byproduct? Of course. You're telling me that I got to go to California in the middle of February to go call a game between two of the best in the biz? I will sign up for that 10 times out of 10.
If you think your team should have a cup game this year, tell your team. If you're a coach or an owner, you got that decision-making in your hands, reach out to us. Let us know. We're scheduling cup games. We're running out of room on the schedule here. We have a lot of new announcements coming up. We're working on a bunch of big things that are going to be announced over the next few weeks. The schedule is filling up fast. If you would like a Dan K Cup Series game this year, reach out. Lucas Jones, I don't know if this is still the offseason. You have parting words in the offseason. You don't have parting words in the season. I'm going to ask you, what are your parting words for today's show?
Let's go, baby. Hockey season's back.
I thought he was going to say, let's go Bears for a second for some reason. But
let's go Bears.
Hockey season is back, and we are excited for it. What I do want to do is send out some love into the world of hockey right now. 2 very tough stories. And, with how many young men and women play hockey around the country, you just love to see success around. You love to see everybody healthy, happy, and playing this game for as long as they can. It's what we do. It's why we do this. It's why we love it. We're sending love out to the family right now of Jacob Cartland of the Dells Ducks, who was involved in an accident here just recently. And Jacob and his whole family, we Dan K Show's here for you guys for whatever you need. Folks, you can reach out to the Dells Ducks, send your love, send your prayers to Jacob and his family at this tough time. Also, Eli Palfreyman, skater for the Atlanta Mad Hatters for about a season and a half here in the USPHL, sadly passed away just over a week back. And we send our love, condolences to the Palfreyman family. If you want to send your love over social media, you can use hashtag EP17, EP17. The family, I'm sure, would love to just see the support and love of the hockey community in what is an unimaginably tough time for the family, the community, teammates, anyone who's played with Eli and Jacob. We love this game of hockey. We love the families it creates. And when tragedy strikes, when tough times happen, we have to all band together. We have to all work together, and we have to be here for one another. We are here for you. The Dan K Show is always here for all of our players, athletes, and fans, the parents that reach out to us all offseason asking for help, finding their next home for players. We're here to help. Don't charge a buck for it. Don't charge a cent. We are just here to be the best possible service for you at home, you families, and we love you guys. ELE, everybody love everybody. When Dan K's on a mic, it's always hockey night. Thank you to our sponsors, Remastered Sleep. Go to remasteredsleep.com today. Selly Salt, sprinkle a little on your next meal. GMU Sport, power your player this offseason. We do this season with GMU Sport, protein powder, pre-workout, everything you need to get in shape. Trust me, if you think you don't need it, I'm a guy who lost 15 and a half pounds already this offseason, looking to shed more, getting back into shape, getting healthier. Power your player with GMU Sport. Go to gmusport.com today. Anything you order, anything you buy, you can get 22% off on us, USPHL 22 at checkout. That's your discount code to put in, 22% off. Order today, order monthly. You can set up for reminders to order each month to keep your players stocked and full and ready to go. Thank you to the Pueblo Bulls, our presenting sponsors this season for the Dan K Show. Run with the Bulls. The Pueblo Bulls are going to be a wagon this year. They've gotten the Dan K bump by us being here. Thank you to everybody for watching. Stay close, hockey community. When Dan K's on the mic, it's always hockey night.